Collage, independent practice.
Hello, artist. For your independent practice this week, you will be adding on to the collage background you created last week as your skill builder. Before we begin, you will need to gather some basic collage supplies. This includes a pencil, glue stick, and scissors, as well as different types of paper that can include a magazine, old cards or calendars, construction paper, wrapping paper, junk mail, and any other kind of paper you can find around your home that you have permission to cut. Always check with an adult to be certain you have permission to use those papers. Then you will need to locate your background from last week. You may have chosen to create a landscape view or an interior view. Before we continue, make certain that you have watched the video in the Google Slide file about the collage artist Della Wells. She uses her collage art to tell stories. You will be telling a story in your collage background, whether it was the landscape or an interior view. One of the things that I most enjoy doing in the spring and summertime is riding my bike on the glacial Drumlin Trail. So I have created a pathway that's coarse and rough, which is a little bit like the surface of the glacial Drumlin Trail. Then I went ahead and flipped through magazines and product packaging to locate some images that I plan to use to tell my story. So I will be adding a tree to my background for an additional detail. This person riding the bicycle, I'll be pretending that's me because I like to ride my bike. I'll also be including this person riding their bike. Often when I'm on the trail, I'm passing by other cyclists or runners. I've selected a runner that will be on my trail because it's a busy spring day or summer day. And I've decided I'm going to include this guy who is fertilizing the lawn because I have lots of grassy areas in my artwork. At this point, I'll be speeding up the video so that you can watch me cut out and assemble the story I wish to tell in my collage. Before I glue anything down, I would like to take an opportunity to move the different pieces of my collage around on the artwork to create the most interesting design as well as to best communicate my story. So I might choose to put the dogs over here, and there's more grass here, so maybe that's where this guy is fertilizing the lawn. I can play around with whether I want the person riding the bike to be here, midway, or in the back. I've decided I want my collage to look a little bit realistic. So one of the things that I know is that objects that are largest, such as this cyclist or the dog, appear to be the closest to our eyes. And the way to make them look the closest to us on the paper is to put those larger images near the bottom or in front of other objects. So I might choose to put this cyclist here, my runner in the middle, and me riding my bike in about the center of the picture for emphasis. But of course, I can also be silly with my collage. My story doesn't necessarily have to make sense. So I could also do things like have my cyclist riding on the sun, puppies sitting on a tree branch, and this guy fertilizing a rocky trail. So the choice is up to you. Have some fun rearranging your objects before you decide on the final placement and gluing them down.
What do I do now? When you feel that your collage is complete and you have fully expressed the story you wish to tell, it is time to upload your artwork into the Seesaw responding template. Part 1 is the skill builder. That is where you will share a picture of your completed background. Part 2 is independent practice. That's your background with the story collaged on top of it. And finally, you'll need to answer the responding questions on page 3 of the Seesaw template.